Hello and welcome. LOL, the audio was not working. I mean, it wasn't on. Anyway, everything's working now. Hi, Hades, welcome. Since it is Sunday, I'm gonna catch you guys up on my latest book. It's actually not my latest book. I've been reading it since last year. It's not small at all, it's really big. Anyway, so it's called. Oh gosh, I don't remember where I left off. I think the Tom W problem. And then I was at Linda. Okay, we're gonna review Tom W because I really needed it to understand Linda. And it's been a long time, so we're just gonna do a little refresh. Okay. Wow, this is how much I read in the last 2 days. Also, I have some awesome news. After a long time, finally got my car fixed up. My gosh. Hold on, let me check the Discord. Okay. Oh my gosh, let me edit it really quick. At everyone. Though I am starting early today, I am probably gonna end early as well. Yeah, I got my car fixed. That's been crazy change. I have been going buck wild ever since. I've been driving all over the state. It's actually crazy. a little bit. I've also okay, so I went to the plant nursery finally on Friday. I went just to get my car fixed on Friday, and I went at noon, maybe 11 something. I was there until 4:30. They could not figure out what it was. Thankfully, they did the diagnostic for free, and then they just went ahead and fixed it. And it was so affordable. I love them. I will be back whenever I have any kind of car issues forever. But yeah, they were awesome. And it really reminded me of what a great tool a car is. What a great invention. What a great invention. And those sweet dolls that know how to fix them, just chef's kiss. Thank you so much. Because I came in and I was like, hey, so my car's been making noise and I don't know what's wrong with it. And they were like, oh yeah, totally. Honestly, I guessed what one of the issues was, but I could not have guessed the other. One of them was the serpentine belt. And they just fixed it. They were like, yeah, $20. Which, first of all, when I looked up how much that would be, it said 1 to 200 alone. Thank you, Hades. Literally, no, it's literally life changing. The way I've been driving around this weekend is actually ridiculous. I think it's also just because I had been driving so little for the past months, and I was surprised at how cheap it was. But I went with the recommendation that I got from my coworker. I have to thank her. I have to bring her something because $20 for something that could have cost 200 is wow. I feel they just charged me for the actual parts and the things that they needed to use. And I was just I love it. Your labor is appreciated, but also. And then my card freaking declined, and I was this is the only card I have right now. I don't know why it declined though, because I was maybe they don't take MasterCards. Anyway, so I had to do some maneuvering, but I was this is the only card I have right now, so I can come back in 30 minutes. And they were sure, go ahead, take the car. I was kisses, hugs, all of the above. Literally, I had to hold back my wanting to hug them. It was I really was just wow, you guys are actually amazing. I've never seen anything like this. I'm astonished and appalled. Yeah, I was wow, that's crazy. Anyway, so that was Friday. Actually, and then I went immediately to the plant nursery, but it started to rain on the way there, and since I am so out of practice with driving, I didn't want to drive around in the rain. It's like a 40-minute drive over there. It's actually pretty far. But they have free pots and I really stocked up. I really stocked up. I felt kind of bad stocking up on the pots, so I was like, I have to buy something. And I got this little cactus. He's so prickly. I feel like, how am I gonna... I'm just gonna pour you out. Sorry, I'm sure to survive. Oh my gosh, sorry, dude. Okay, so this is my little cactus. He's new. We have to figure out a name for him. All of my plants have names that match their personality. And obviously the obvious name is Spike. Is it too obvious? I don't know. We can decide that. But this is him. Ouch. And he's gonna grow to get like big. I'm gonna put him outside for the summer so he can get lots of heat and sun. And I think he'll get really big. So I learned so much about my like plants I already have. They were showing me like this pathos plant, which is one that I clipped, and I got a little tub for it. But actually, I might put it in this one because I feel like it can grow a lot. It's been in a cup of water and somehow survived for at least months. And okay, so I also was looking at my goldfish plant and my orchid. And my, what was it called? I don't know. It's like some kind of nerve plant. It's called a nerve plant. And it kind of looks like nerves. It's pretty cool. Anyway, we'll get to potting them later probably. I want to repot them with you guys on stream. But I have so much dirt now. So much dirt and orchid bark and cactus, whatever they need. And I'm gonna repot them this weekend, so that'll be fun. Oh my gosh, Friday is the end of the quarter. Okay, let me finish this last Friday. So last Friday, I went to the shop, finally got my car done, and then I immediately went to the nursery and I was like, oh my gosh, that was awesome. Got a bunch of those pop thingy bobbers. Then I went to this karaoke bar. This was such an odd experience. I'd been to this karaoke bar one time before, but like a long time ago. Like nobody remembered me or anything. And I'd been there one time before, but I hadn't gone in a long time. It was a smoking bar, and I got there like I was already in the area, so I got there like 6:30, maybe 7, and I had to wait till karaoke started at 9:30. So I was like, what am I gonna do? I got some wings, and then I went to I saw somebody started to play pool in the back. Guys, I am not a pool player. I am not a pool player, but I won every game. Playing doubles, mind you. Let's not, I don't want to oversell my skills. I was playing doubles, and I was using a good, I don't know what it's called. Stick? I feel like it probably is called stick, actually. But I was using, somebody came with their own, and then we used like the bar one to break, which apparently is like a big deal because the break is way harsher on the stick. Pool stick. I think that's right. Anyway, so yeah, it was such an interesting experience. Okay, so I wanted to do karaoke. I do karaoke quite often actually, and I have never had this kind of experience with a karaoke like master person before. But I went up to put in a song, and it was fine. Song 2, it was cool, it was fine. I heard someone else singing a song, and I was like, oh my gosh, can I join your song? And she was like, no, you cannot join a person's song. And honestly, she can't, and she like pulled me aside and she was like, if someone's up there singing like, or like you see if their song is queued up, don't ask them. It puts them on the hot seat, and like they'll be like, they feel pressure to say yes even if they don't want to say yes. And so like don't ask them. And I was like, that actually kind of makes sense, but at the same time, like as someone who does karaoke all the time, like I know that's not true. Like not that it isn't true, like it might be true for some people, but maybe, I don't know, I just feel like for me, I would never, it's more fun when more people are singing, in my opinion. So I was like, okay, that's fine. No, actually she didn't say that the first time. The first time she said, oh no, this is their first song, you can't sing with them. And I was like, okay. So then I asked her specifically, I was like, is this her first time singing? Because there was another song that I liked. And she was like, And she was like, no, it's her second one. So I asked her and she was like, no, you can't ask them. And I was like, dude, like, we literally just had this conversation and you didn't say that. Anyway, she just didn't want me to sing with up there much, I guess. Anyway, so the next time I tried to put in a song, she was like, you're not singing again without a tip. First of all, she didn't have any tip system visible. Like, literally, like, every time I go to karaoke, and the thing is, it's like, it's not like I wouldn't have tipped or didn't want a tip, but you're already not being mean, but like, you're just like being very abrasive, I guess. And okay, mind you, this is a little bit of this is like an old smoker's bar in a not very diverse area. So I was feeling a little bit of animosity. But I was like, whatever, like, I've had drinks and I'm gonna have fun here no matter what. But I was like, dude, you just don't want me to sing. And no, literally, the thing is, everybody there was so nice. Like, I didn't pay for like any drinks. I didn't pay for anything, actually. I think that also made her more mad because she saw people getting stuff for me. But I was just like, dude, like, relax. And then somebody wanted to sing a song with me, and oh my god, somebody wanted to sing a song with me, so they put the song in because I was like, she doesn't really like me. I don't know what you want to do with that information, but they put in the song. They come back to me and they're like, yeah, she made me pay $30 to like, she made me pay her a $30 tip. I was like, dude, she's literally making you pay definitely extra because it's me. And I was like, I'm sorry, that's probably my fault because she doesn't like me. Like, I tried to warn you, and also you should have been like, LOL. No, actually. And then, yeah, anyway, she just didn't like me, and I was like, okay, dude. No, exactly, $30 to sing one song, first song of the night. I was like, dude, like, you're being so gross, really. Especially when, okay, another thing that she did was like, I should write a review actually because it was weird. But another thing that she did was she kept emphasizing, yeah, everybody here is a regular. And this may be my second time here. I haven't been here in like over a year. But she was like, yeah, everyone here is a regular. Everyone here is a regular. And I was like, dude, I see you're clearly trying to ostracize me. Like, I don't feel ostracized. Put my song in. Like, what do you mean? I don't care. I don't care. Like, she kept trying to make me feel bad, basically, about like asking people to sing with them, putting a song in, and other stuff. And I even asked her specifically. I was like, where is your tip stuff? Because I didn't see any QR codes. I don't see anything. I don't have cash. Like, no answer. I was like, cool. She was like, yeah, I take tips. Did not give me any method to give her a tip. I was like, okay. Okay. No, exactly. I was like, this is not the best system. Not the best system. And okay, I also realized like it was a very divey bar, but I was dressed very cute. I wish I had a photograph. I was just very cute. I had on like a little dress and like a little button-up collar with a blazer on top and a little a ribbon in my hair like this. And I could tell like they were a little like, what's happening? Literally, the first person who talked to me in the place was like, what are you doing here? No, they said, why are you here? Something like that. I was like, what an odd question to ask someone. They said nothing, just waited for the answer. I was like, okay. Okay. Wow. Huh. Anyway, I was just like, I was like, yeah, I was just around getting some pots from the nursery. They were like, what nursery? They don't even know. They're not the kind of people who know what that is or where it is. And I was just like, no, literally. The thing is, they were like nice after that, but I obviously stuck out like a sore thumb. And they were just like, how did you get here? And I wasn't smoking. It was like a smoking bar, like everyone was smoking there. But that was quite an experience. It was an interesting juxtaposition between like I mean, like, literally every person there was so nice except for the people that worked there. And I was like, that's so weird. That's so weird. Like, why are you mad? Why are you mad? Why are you mad? Like, there's literally nothing to be mad at. I haven't spoken to you before. You don't even know me. Um, but yeah, why would they be like that? It's a great question. Literally. And on some level, I was like, I think I just caught them by surprise. I was like, this is an interesting situation. It's an interesting situation. Um, but I was also just like, I honestly, I didn't let it get to me, and I didn't let it show in the moment, and I wasn't gonna be like, oh my god, you're being so mean or whatever. But I was just like, ugh. And it sucks because like the patrons were like, oh my gosh, you're gonna be back here next week, and then I was like, we'll see. But I think it's gonna be a no. Cause I'm just like, dude, like, relax. Relax, dude. Relax. Charging someone $30 to sing one song is ridiculous. And there's no way. There's no way. Yeah, anyway. I wish I'd known. But anyway, I was just like, that's such a weird, what a weird thing to do. What a weird thing to do. And I also feel like I've thrown them off because when I initially came in, I was so hungry and I ordered wings. And she set out like a metal fork and knife and like a styrofoam plate with like a napkin and everything, and I was just like, do the wings not come in a dish? Why would I use a fork and knife? I was just like, I don't understand. Like, okay, yes, I might be dressed up, but like, I think we all eat wings the same way. Like, it's not that big a deal. Like, it's not that weird. It's not at that level. Like, I'm not like, I don't know. I don't even know. Anyway, I was just like, that was such an interesting experience. Anyway, so after that, I drove home. The next day Saturday was like nothing. It was like a chill day. Oh, actually, Saturday I saw this movie. Oh my gosh, this movie with Ryan Gosling in it just came out, still in theaters. What is it called? What is it called? What is it called? It's really, really good. It's so good. It was so good. Okay, it's called Hail Mary, and it's about Ryan Gosling being a scientist who gets sent up into space, and he meets this alien friend, and it's so good. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's super heartfelt, and I also feel like a lot of alien movies or shows or whatever, they always make the aliens like super evil and disgusting and scary looking, but this alien was so cute and funny, and I just thought it was very adorable. It's very heartfelt, heartwarming movie. And then Sunday, that's today. What did I do Sunday? What did I do Sunday? Okay, so, oh my gosh, I'm just realizing I haven't had like a full meal today. I've had a lot of snacks. Anywho, earlier I went to this winery, and they have horses. This winery has horses. The weather was so nice, and there was live music today. I was like, hit the jackpot. Because I was like, and I was reading my book there. People were coming up to me like, you look like such a vibe. I love this afternoon for you. And I was like, me too. Like, I'm on a farm with horses and a vineyard at a winery with live music, just reading my book. Like, this was a great day. And then now here I am with stream. And then I'll probably karaoke tonight, if we're being honest. The thing is, the karaoke bar that I want to go to owes me a drink. Like they threw out my drink accidentally and I never got the chance to get it back. I'm gonna like try to remind them like gently and be like, hey, so. But yeah, hotels and hotels, my parents are McDonald's. What? Not allowed to come with a bag. Oh my gosh, that's so annoying. That's so annoying. No, something similar happened to me where I was also a kid and I was in Costco and I was getting like a little no, like literally. Like also like why are you picking on a kid? That's the real problem. That's the real problem. Why are you pointing out a kid when everyone else is doing it? Like are you good? Are you serious? You're gonna pick on a kid, really? Anyway, I was maybe like 9 at the time, maybe 10. And I was getting like a refill like from the drink machine at Costco, like the back where you like get food after you shop. And this officer comes up to me and he's like, "Oh, that's for customers only." I was like, "Oh, sorry." I went back to my table with my parents and my brother and our big cart of stuff that we just bought from Costco. And I was like, I guess I didn't buy anything, so I can't get anything to drink. And my mom went off. She was like, what do you mean only for customers? Literally, everybody who comes in here has to be a customer. To get to this part of the store, you're a customer. Obviously, this kid who has a cup is not like, this isn't like a cup she brought from home. She was just like, what are you even saying? Why are you talking to my child in the first place? And I get that. I get that. In hindsight, I was like, oh yeah, like I guess I am with customers. But like at the time, obviously, I'm like, oh, I didn't buy anything. I don't have any money. What? I don't have any money, sir. Obviously, I didn't buy anything. No, it is weird. Like literally, maybe 3 cents, if that. Like, what are you complaining about? Like, what are you complaining about? So weird. And it's just the thing is like in both situations, why are you coming to a kid to complain about this? My mom ended up writing a letter to the like owner of Costco. I loved about her. She taught me that as well. I am very quick to like write a letter to the president of a company, write a letter to like the owner of something, because this is how you're being represented. Actually, not really about like businesses as much, but definitely like if I need when I was in college my last semester, I was like, I forget why I couldn't. I think I like I was signing on for classes late or something, and they had closed it, and I was like, oh my gosh, excuse me, can we actually open this back up for me? And the thing is, if you ask like the employees, they'll always be like, no, we can't change the rules, sucks to suck. But then if you ask the adults, they're like, yeah, sure, no biggie. I even had that happen to me one time with my bank. Love PNC, definitely recommend. But my bank, they do like overdraft fees, obviously, but I always have them reversed. always. I have never paid an overdraft. I haven't paid an overdraft fee in years, because I always call and I'm like, hey, like, can you reverse it, please? And this one time I called, what they were like, oh, we see you just got a reversal last month. That's a little peek into my finances, but anyway, I was like, they're like, you just got a reversal last month, so I don't think we can do it this time. And I was like, oh, and he was like, well, let me ask my assistant. And I was like, okay, cool, awesome, thank you. And he comes back and he was like, the assistant was like, no, we probably can't. And I was like, okay, but he was like, oh, well, let me ask my boss, actually. And the boss, of course, was like, yeah, sure. Duh. That was fake money. She's a loyal customer. She's been here for years, maybe a decade now. Give her that $30. What's wrong with you? It's not even giving it to me. It's not asking me to give it to you. Like, dude. Ew. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Friday was a doozy. I'm still wondering about it because like part of me is like, ugh. I had such a good time playing pool. And everyone was so nice there. And people were literally asking me to come back. But the vibe in there was so off. It was so off. Like, I'm a little torn. I don't know. Ugh. Anyway. I was just like, that was an interesting experience. Let's get on to some reading, some pages. Okay, so I read chapter 14. We can do 14 through 19. So this book is Thinking Fast and Slow. Let's actually switch it up to reading and writing. Is that one? I think it is, isn't it? Oh, there we go. Alrighty. So, this book that I've been reading, yeah. This book that I've been reading is called Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. Basically, he's like a psychologist, and he's looking at thinking fast, which he considers system 1. System 1 is like when you recognize someone's emotion, or when you like automatically make a thought or an assumption based off of life, etc. And then system 2 is like doing a math problem where you have to like kind of think about it a little bit more. And there are different tricks to use system 1 versus system 2. Times where system 1 is better than system 2, and times where okay, so he says system 2 is lazy, is how he puts it. Like, if you can solve it with system 1, you will. Like, if there's an obvious answer, like, you're going to be like, oh yeah. But there's another concept that he calls what you see is all there is, where you might not have all of the information you need to make that answer, or make that assumption that you're making with system 1. You're just closing the gaps on something that may not be closed. Anyway, so we're going to give you the highlights of these few chapters. So chapter 14 talks about Tom W., which is a made-up candidate or character that he designed to pit the two systems against each other. So, or the system of base rates against representationalism. What do you call it? Representativeness, which is like stereotypes, or like thinking like, okay, well, these are there, and like stereotypes in a broad sense, not in like a negative sense. Obviously, this is a very clinical book, actually, maybe too clinical. Anyway, so here he's trying to pit base rates, which is like actual data and like popularity of a certain thing, versus stereotypes. So he gives this list of majors in college: business admin, computer science, engineering, humanities and education, law, medicine, library science, physical and life sciences, and social science and social work. And he tells you about this candidate, Tom W. Tom W. is of high intelligence. Although lacking in true creativity, he has a need for order and clarity, and for neat and tidy systems in which every detail finds its appropriate place. His writing is rather dull and mechanical, occasionally enlivened by somewhat corny puns and flashes of imagination of the sci-fi type. He has a strong drive for competence. He seems to have very little feel and little sympathy for others, and does not enjoy interacting with others. Self-centered, he nonetheless has a deep moral sense. And they ask you to rank basically what majors would be most likely for him. So the range, I mean, you guys can guess based on his personality, what do you think is like the most and least likely? I'll tell you the list again: business admin, computer science, engineering, humanities and education, law, medicine, library science, physical and life sciences, social science and social work. I'll tell you what I put. For the lowest, since they said he has little feel and sympathy for other people and doesn't enjoy interacting with others, I put social science and social work at the bottom. I was like, this guy probably is not going to be very keen on working with people, especially people who have problems he needs them to fix, or they need him to fix. Number 1, I put engineering. Number 2, I put computer science. 3, I put law because of his moral code, deep moral sense. Um, anyway, the actual list of. Wait a minute. The actual, like, aggregate list that everybody else came up with from the polls put computer science first, and apparently that was like the correct answer. It was designed after a designed after a computer science stereotype. However, this contrasts the base rates because sorry, yeah, this does get kind of technical. Honestly, I find myself rereading it all the time too, and I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? But basically it's saying that, like, when you are given an idea of a person, you will use that idea of the person to inference what or predict what they will do more than base rates or like regular statistics. Like the most popular major is humanities, but that's going to be low on the list because he's like so cold. So it's interesting to see that dichotomy. And even other scientists didn't catch it. But it's because it's a system 1 kind of thing where you just naturally are going to think, okay, well, he fits this, and this sounds like he would do that. Okay, so instead, what they say in the book is that the question about probability was difficult, so your brain replaces it with the question about similarity. And so instead of actually like answering the most probable, you answer what sounds like him, like what the stereotype of his characteristics and his personality, like what major would that kind of person have. Anyway, I thought that was really interesting. Okay. And probability can just be like a synonym for that would be just likeliness. But yes, probability is not always a good indicator of oh my gosh, there's so many interesting things here. Okay, I'm gonna try, because I have so much to cover, I'm gonna try and give you guys like a quick synopsis of what I've learned from it over these last few chapters. Because there are also other things we talked about, like the law of large numbers, law of small numbers. What are some other chapters? Obviously, he goes into detail for each thinking fast and thinking slow. Then he introduces some other characters and examples. Okay. And some other, it's really cool because it gives you examples of things and then kind of shows you where you would like see the pitfalls. And I was just talking to someone earlier about this, but I don't really feel that this book is very actionable, like in day-to-day life. I kind of feel like it's more of a hindsight kind of information book. Like I can assess a situation better, but I wouldn't be able to like recall this immediately as I'm in the situation. So I don't know how useful this is. But it is very interesting, and it does say a lot about psychology and I'm a little stuffy. It does say a lot about psychology and being able to go back and assess things in hindsight. Okay, so there are some tricks you can use to activate your system 2, which is your slow thinking, even when you're given something that you may want to fill the gaps in. One of those is to frown. And I also, today I was thinking about this because sometimes like when you're really focused on something, like you know how like your face just kind of gets into like a little, like I know my eyebrows always furrow when I'm really focused. And it's funny because they say like doing things like that or like Smiling can make you overconfident in your system 1, where like frowning can make you overconfident in system 2, or like assess things more. And doing another task while you're doing multiple tasks at the same time activates your system 2, because you have to focus more on whatever it is that you're doing. Like if you're listening to music and you're reading, you have to focus more on your reading because you're fighting that other thing that you're doing, if that makes sense. And I was like, that's kind of interesting. But in addition to those ways to, what I thought was interesting about it is that like you naturally kind of do those things when you are focused, but then also doing those things can make you more focused. So it's kind of like a cycle. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Bayesian I don't know how to say this out loud. I only read it. Bayesian statistics. Bayes' rule specifies how prior beliefs, in the examples of this chapter, Bayes rates, should be combined with the diagnosticity of the evidence, the degree to which it favors the hypothesis over the alternative. So, the Bayes rates in the Tom W. problem were largely ignored, even though people know that computer science isn't as popular as humanities. Thinking about his own personality, like, it's less likely. Though, that cannot always be trusted. And so you have to be aware of it, I guess, basically. But we'll get back. Another thing about prior beliefs later that we'll talk about was also really interesting. Okay, then we talk about Linda. Linda is a 31-year-old single, outspoken. Linda is 31 years old, single, outspoken, and very bright. She majored in philosophy. As a student, she was deeply concerned with issues of discrimination and social justice, and also participated in anti-nuclear demonstrations. Linda is a teacher. Oh, and then they ask what you think her current profession is based on that scenario. This is also a fictional person. Linda is a teacher in elementary school. Linda works in a bookstore and takes yoga classes. Linda is active in the feminist movement. Linda is a psychiatric social worker. Linda is a member of the League of Women Voters. Linda is a bank teller. Linda is an insurance salesperson. Or Linda is a bank teller and is active in the feminist movement. Right? Okay. But listen. So these are the probability. You're detecting the probability of each one. And this is the same ranking style. So, when ranking it, as I would have assumed from your wait, how come I don't have the chat on here? Okay, that should fix it. Anyway, I would assume from your comment, feminists, that you would rank the bank teller and active in the feminist movement higher than being a bank teller, and I did too. But the fallacy in that is that it has to be less than, because the probability of more specificity is always smaller than the probability of a general statement. I was like, that's so interesting. When you specify a possible event in greater detail, you can only lower its probability. And I was like, that's true, but like with the statement, it seems like it wouldn't be true. So it's like, we'll see. I don't know, man. I don't know. But we were not the only ones to think this. Basically, every test that they had, like all these different schools, everybody had 85 to 90% of the tests came back with results like ours, saying that the bank teller and feminist was more likely than her being a bank teller. Which, like, when you look back at it, you're like, oh yeah, that does make sense, because if she's bank teller and feminist, like, it's more likely that she's bank teller. I mean, and it's not even that she isn't a feminist, but like active in the feminist movement. So 85 to 90% of undergraduates at several major universities chose the second option, contrary to logic. Okay, as in the Mueller-Lyer illusion, the fallacy remains attractive even when you recognize it for what it is. So some people were called out in the cases, and they were just like, well, I thought you were asking my opinion. Like, I still stand by. I still think that she's more likely to be a bank teller active in the feminist movement than she is to be a bank teller. And I thought that was interesting because it's like, yeah, like I also still agree, though I can see how there's more specificity that makes it less likely. But for her, it seems more likely. But at the same time, we don't know what's happened in those however many years, almost 10 years that she's been out of school. So it is an interest. It's just, I mean, you just wouldn't think about it. Because also, they tell you for what they're talking about, like the little blurbs, they're like, okay, well, this could be or couldn't be, we'll see. We don't know. But with what you see is all there is, you're going to take all the information into consideration, unless it is completely like irrelevant. Like if they were to say, yeah, she has a favorite color, or she loves the beach, or she likes dogs, like that would not be, none of those job options had to do with any of those things. So it's like, okay, that's irrelevant. That's something that System 1 is good at, like getting rid of options that are very clearly and obviously out there and irrelevant, but it's not great at getting rid of options that are possibly relevant or it's easily tricked. But also System 2 is pretty lazy, so like if System 1 can handle it well, I think I said that one already before. Anywho, the longer version, okay, so then they did another experiment where they just asked bank teller or bank teller active in the feminist movement. That one got more accurate results because it was only 2 options. And people could see the fallacy more clearly. But in the long list with like 7 or 8, like there's no juxtaposition of like, well, obviously a bank teller is more likely, but oh my gosh, this cactus keeps like pricking me. Actually, I keep putting my fingers over there. I don't know why. Anyway, gosh. Yeah, so there was more clarity for the people tested with just the 2. However, the uncritical substitution of plausibility for probability has pernicious effects on judgments. I did not know what pernicious meant, so I looked it up and here it is for you. Pernicious means causing great harm, ruin, or injury in a subtle or gradual way. And I was like, that's like the worst kind. That's like the worst kind. Oh my gosh, at least if you're gonna cause great harm, like make it obvious. But like a subtle way is the way that you're not gonna try to fix. Or gradual way is the way you're not gonna realize until it's really harmful. It's just a interesting word. I want to include that more in my vocabulary. The more detailed outcome is only more. Oh, then he gives some other examples where the fallacy can be skipped over. Mark has hair or Mark has blonde hair, which is more probable that Mark has hair, obviously. Which is more probable? Jane is a teacher, or Jane is a teacher and walks to work, which is more probable? Jane is a teacher. But these are easier to identify because that's all the information that you're given. I need some water. I feel like I'm talking a mile a minute right now. But each of these are... I'm gonna go get the water. Give me a hot second. I hope I have water in this room. I do not have water here, so I'm gonna go down. Okay. Oh, what? Hello? Can you hear me? Oh, I was saying I was gonna go get water. um, but I think I left it in my car. My bottle. I didn't get a glass, so I'm just gonna finish this explanation. Then we get to a stopping point. Then I'll just get water. But so where were we? Okay, the more detailed outcome is only more detailed. There's no context to make you think anything other than like Mike has hair or Marcus has hair versus Mark is blonde. Like there's no reason to make you think that blonde is more likely. There's no backstory to it like there was with Linda and Tom. So that's an interesting one. Then they also talk about less is more, even in joint evaluation. So a joint evaluation is a comparison between two things, and then a single evaluation would be a comparison between that one single thing upon itself. So, like, okay, for example, people were asked to price a set of dinner plates or a dinner set. This dinner set, or there are two dinner sets. Some were asked to price just one dinner set, and some were asked to price the other, and some were asked to price each, seeing both sets. One dinner set has 40 pieces, 9 of them broken. The other dinner set has 24 pieces, all in good condition. As someone who saw both, you can see, okay, well, you're getting an extra, what? 7 pieces? Is that right? No. 1. Yeah. You're getting an extra 7 pieces for possibly the same price. Like you're willing to pay a little bit more for that extra 7 pieces, even though you're getting broken pieces. But people who gauged the price of the one with the broken pieces in it, always said a lot less, even though there were more pieces in it. Because they didn't have any comparison. They didn't have a comparison to, oh, this one has the same amount of everything else, but you get less pieces. And it was a clean set. It was full. It had all the pieces and they were in good condition. So this is an example of less is more, where if they had taken out the 9 damaged pieces, the whole thing raises in value. Just like if you had a okay, they did an example where they used baseball cards, and those can go for quite a bit. But they used baseball cards and they put a set of 10 very valuable cards together and auctioned. And then they did another set where it was more, but there are more cards in total, but there were some like moderate cards mixed in, and it doesn't get the same. That addition of the more moderate cards among the highest cards always makes it less valuable. So there's that. Oh, okay. Something else that they talk about with that is that the Linda problem and the dinnerware problem have the exact. Yay, nay? Hold on. Let me pull up. Okay. Baseball cards. They're kind of like trading cards that you get with like baseball players on them. They're not as popular anymore, I guess. But you would get like you get a card with a player on it and like say their stats, I think. I don't really know. I was never really into sports. Still am not. But anyway, but the idea is that like any collector's item, I know. Any collector's item is more valuable in a set of highly valuable ones than in a set of, because that you're comparing it instead of seeing it just as the one set. Less is more. So this actually makes me think about other sales tactics. But anyway, um, so the sum-like nature of the variables is less obvious for probability than it is for money. When you're doing the dinner sets, you can easily quickly see, okay, well, this one has more in comparison, of course. You can see this one has more for the same or less. In the probability one, you don't think about, okay, well, you think about, okay, bank teller and an active feminist, but the option is not there to say bank teller, that's not an active feminist explicitly. You're not thinking about the other side of that that's like clearly a big part of it. He mentions to think of it in Venn diagrams. So if we're looking at a Venn diagram of bank tellers, and you're trying to figure out, where is Linda? Linda, is she more likely to be in bank teller or bank teller plus active in the feminist community? Like, when it's clear like this, it's like, okay, obviously she's more likely to be a bank teller. But it's not clear like that because you're looking at this based on her personality, which okay, then we talk about something else. Okay, there's another thing that in the next chapter, is it the next chapter? I don't know. But in another chapter that's coming up, they talk about something else, which is something about the mean. Hold on, let me find it. Anyway, let's continue with this. So, yes, the variables are not as overtly contrasted in those. We'll skip that. Okay, here's another example of two arguments. Two groups saw slightly different variants of the same problem. This first problem reads, a health survey was conducted in a sample of adult males in British Columbia, of all ages and occupations. Please give your best estimate of the following values. What percentage of the men surveyed had one or more heart attacks? What percentage of the men surveyed are both over 55 years old and have had one or more heart attacks? So, here we don't know the quantity. We don't know much about these men at all. But we do know that once you split those men who are in the heart attack group up, you can then further split that heart attack group down to, okay, who's over 55. But it is still more difficult to quantify because you don't know the total. So, in scenario 2, the health survey was conducted. A health survey was conducted in a sample of 100 adult males in British Columbia of all ages and occupations. Please give your best estimate of the following values. How many of the 100 participants have had one or more heart attacks? How many of the 100 participants both are over 55 years old and have had one or more heart attacks? What is the big difference there? We're given a quantity. So, we can get a percentage from 100 a lot easier than we can from some random number that we don't know. So it's a lot easier to kind of quantify that. If you say, okay, well, I don't know anything about heart attacks, but I might say, okay, 20% have had heart attacks in a random sample of adult men. Okay, from that 20%, what age are people more likely to have heart attacks? And that would end up probably around 10, 15. I don't know. I don't think they actually give you the answers. but you get the idea. Like, you can use that number. That number is really important. It helps you to quantify it. So I'm trying to read it and talk to you guys at the same time. Uh, The frequency representation, as it is known, makes it easy to appreciate that one group is wholly included in the other, just like we saw with Linda. But obviously Linda was harder for us to guess because we did have that background. And there's another thing that they talked about in this book called priming, which is basically when you suggest something to someone in order to get them to agree to it later without their own knowledge, which is the crazy part. Like when I first was reading that, I was like, this is mind control, oh my gosh. But if you offer somebody a pamphlet for a house and it says in there $30,000, your guess for what it's actually worth will be around $30,000. If you are given that same pamphlet but it says 300,000, your guess is going to be around 300,000. And in your mind, you might say, this house is not anywhere close to 300,000. And vice versa, you might say it's not even close to 30,000. What the heck? This is like a nice house. But because you were primed to believe that it is already advertised, you attribute a little bit of credence to that, and you think that that is reasonable because someone official has handed it to you, they printed it out, and so you kind of give it an idea of expertise, even though it may not have that actual idea. Anyway, this book is really good. Again, it's thinking fast and slow. If you want to check it out, it's really interesting. And anyway, so focus. So let's go on. Even though you know the logic of the Venn diagrams, you do not readily apply it. Nah. It's really good. Oh, I like it. Okay, so even though you don't readily apply it, I thought it was kind of annoying for them to say, well, you know that Venn diagrams exist. Like, why didn't you use a Venn diagram? I'm like, dude, like, no, exactly. No, it's crazy. But it's also just like, maybe they do. That's a lot of negotiations. Like, I think also, especially as an artist, like selling your work is you price it yourself. And your prices, well, my prices at least, are relevant to size. So for me, I can tell someone, hey, this size or this price, this piece is $500. And then they will look at that piece and think, okay, so from looking at this size piece, whatever, and then if I size down like times 2, this should be like $100 or something. And that's, I mean, it makes sense because people, and I mean, I've sold a piece this big for $100, but it's also just like, it's because in context you will relate the things, even if you don't think you are relating this. Because somebody could sell this somebody could sell a piece this size for $20, and that might be what's best for them. That might be what it's worth for them. But I know, and I feel like also, especially in art, like if you're a trained artist, like if you have your BFA, if you have a small business, if you promote your work, I'll shake my head a little bit with that one. But like, that's the value. And the value, especially for artisan investment, really that investment is in your love of the work and how you see the work and how that work is going to make you feel, more than, oh, I'm waiting for this work to become super, super expensive and valuable and then I can sell it, because people don't often do that. And it depends. Okay, so we're getting into like gallery knowledge right now. And we can talk about that later in my painting, but let's focus. The laziness of System 2 is an important fact of life, and the observation that representativeness can block the application of an obvious logical rule is also of some interest. The representativeness, if you'll remember, is the stereotypes. Just like when we said Tom W. is a He likes to keep to himself. He doesn't care about people. He's not very kind. He doesn't feel like a lot of things, but he has moral sense and he likes order and tidy systems. And we're like, oh, and like, oh, his corny jokes. We're like, okay, so computer science or engineer. Even though humanities is like the most popular major. Like the probability is technically higher that he's in a humanities major, even with his personality traits. But knowing his personality traits, you can assess that he's probably not with the mainstream flow. Intuition governs judgment in the between subjects conditions. Logic rules in a joint. Okay, intuition, system 1, governs, or a symptom of system, not a symptom, really a working of system 1, or fast thinking. Remember, thinking fast and slow. Governs judgment in the between subject condition, where logic rules in joint evaluation. So, between. Let me finish that sentence actually, or that thought. In the Linda problem, in contrast, intuition often overcame logic even in joint evaluation, although it identified some conditions in which logic prevails. Like the only comparing the two. Ishia Bank Teller with that's a feminist, like active in the feminist movement. I feel like those are very specific because you have to say active in the feminist movement because you can be a feminist like passively, but it is a time commitment and other things for you to be like, active in the feminist movement. So you have, anyway, that's another consideration. So intuition will govern that, and it overcame logic in the Linda problem, which is rare, especially when you have other options. For the joint evaluation, remember that's comparing two things, like the Linda problem. Usually logic does rule, like we saw with the dishes, where if there's some broken dishes in my set, I know that's worth less to me than a nice set that I don't have to repair or throw away things. So, does that make sense? I had to go a little bit back and forth in this chapter because I was like, I initially started at Linda, and then I was like, oh, what are you saying? And so I had to go back to Tom to get some more context. But intuition governs judgments in the between subject condition. When you have multiple options, you use your intuition. Logic rules in joint evaluation. Or comparison. Or when you're like picking one. That's more probable. The Linda problem attracted a great deal of attention, but it also became a magnet for critics of our approach to judgment. This was so interesting. Okay, so obviously anything that gains popularity will gain hate. I think everyone knows that. But it's interesting because they gave so much detail and example, and they gave you so many instances of, like, they didn't just say everything matter of fact. Like, they gave you situations, they gave you examples, they gave you several schools of thought, they gave you so much, but the critics only nitpicked and said the evidence that we had built up for heuristics from between subject experiments. I forget what heuristics means. Let me look it up for you guys really quick. Heuristics, I think it's like thinking processes. A rule or piece of information used in or enabling problem solving or decision making. A rule or piece of information used in or enabling problem solving or decision making. Okay, so what was I reading? The evidence that we had built up for heuristics or rules used in decision making from between subject experiments, including the studies of Linda, was not challenged. It was just not addressed. So all of these critics the extra what things? My English brain also leaves me, and I am fluent in English, so I get it. I'm like, Honestly, this book has taught me so many words I didn't know before. Well, maybe not taught me, but definitely like opened my eyes to them. Thank you for the follow. Oh my gosh, welcome, Steve. Yeah, definitely opened my eyes to words I didn't know. I don't know if I will use them in my day-to-day life, but I now know they exist. Yes, yes. How was your day? How are you? Fork? You don't know fork? You know fork. Oh my gosh, I love it. Seeing all the emotes from everywhere. Fork is a word that you should know. I use that one every day. I would say that's definitely my day-to-day vocabulary. Okay. But anywho, my gosh. Okay, so the net effect of the Linder problem was that it was an increase in visibility for their work and the general public and a small dent in the credibility of their approach among scholars in the field. Because they kind of like ignored that part that they didn't want to address, but whatever. And then he goes on to say that he tried. Things kind of quiet from the writing side. Oh, yeah. Maybe I should write on here. I have a blog post that I've been wanting to um, finish, but I haven't yet. Maybe I will definitely have it out by next week. Maybe I can do it on here. Yes, welcome. Happy to have you. Place this on. That would be cool, actually. It's. Do you guys want to see what I have written so far? We have like a couple. We have like a chapter and a half left that I've read up to this book. But what I'm writing on is color. It's very different. So we'll see. We can tack that on possibly. I think we'll have time. Alas, he tried to appeal to someone that he knew in the field who was critiquing him pretty severely. And he asked them why he and others had chosen to focus exclusively on the conjunction fallacy rather than on other findings that provided stronger support for their position. He smiled as he answered, "It was more interesting." I would have been so pissed. I would have been so pissed. I would have been like, "So, you hate me? You could have just said that. Let's catch me outside." Like, what do you mean? It's more interesting. You just didn't have anything better to say, huh? Like, cool. Anyway, so they make the distinction between, in this chapter, in the overview, they're talking about, yes, you may have an option that is more plausible, but it doesn't mean that it's more probable, and it's important to distinctly realize the two. They added a cheap gift to the expensive product and made the whole deal less attractive. Less is more in this case. And then the last one says, in most situations, a direct comparison makes people more careful and more logical, but not always. Sometimes intuition beats logic even when the correct answer stares you in the face. There were so many times where I was just like, there was one time early in the book where they completely called me out. They were like, actually, let me see if I can find it. Oh gosh, I was just like, shut your mouth. You shut your mouth. Anyway, so it was an example talking about illusion. Okay, I can't find it. I don't see it. Wait, was that even this book? No, it must have been. Oh. Anyway, there were these. Oh, here it is. There were these guys, and they're like, okay, which one is the biggest one and which one's the smallest one? Spoiler, they're all the same size. And then they go on to say, only visual artists and experienced photographers have developed the skill of seeing the drawing as an object on the page. I was like, I'm not a visual artist then, I guess. I'm just a random person. I don't know. What have I been doing? What have I been doing? Just a random person. I don't. Oh shoot! I lost my page. Oh no, I didn't. Here it goes. All good. All good in the neighborhood. Okay. Chapter 16. Causes Trump statistics. So, here is the scenario. A cab was involved in a hit-and-run accident at night. Two cab companies, the green and the blue, operate in the city. You are given the following data. 85% of the cabs in the city are green and 15% are blue. A witness identified the cab as blue. The court tested the reliability of the witness under the circumstances that existed on the night of the accident and concluded that the witness correctly identified each one of the two colors 80% of the time and failed 20% of the time. What is the probability that the cab involved in the accident was blue rather than green? I think I got a mosquito bite at the winery today. Anyway, so what I would have said, what I did say, is that 80%. It's an 80% chance that they identified the car correctly because it was an 80% chance that, or they correctly identified the car 80% of the time, the color of the car. But that was not very astute. Yeah, a little bit. I mean, participate if you want. But the correct answer is 41%. You can probably guess, obviously, that most people said 80%. But incorrect. Just because there are more green in the city doesn't mean that, or just because there are less blue in the city doesn't mean that it's an 80%. And also, actually, let's just get to it when we get there. Consider a variation of the same story in which only the presentation of the base rate has been altered. You are given the following data. The two companies operate the same number of cabs, but green cabs are involved in 85% of the accidents. The information about the witness is as in the previous version. What do you think? So for this one, I was like, okay, well, that makes it more likely that it was a green. It was a green cab because they're pretty loosey-goosey with hitting stuff. I don't know, kind of out there for a cab company, especially. Funny enough, the percentage is actually exactly the same. What? How is that, you wonder? So did I. It's because we did not take into account the first time that we put too much credibility into the witness statement. And that is normal, I think, especially when there's not much other information for us. But the numbers are the same. 85, 15. But we have the witness saying that it is the less likely, or the less amount of cars. The company with the least amount of cars. Oh my gosh, how do you say this? The witness thinks it's the company that has less cars in the city. I'm sorry, that was a jumble. But green cabs now have a history of accidents, so that seems like maybe the witness isn't right. We give them less credibility because we know more about the history of the actual crashes rather than just like who has more cars. Because like initially you're like, okay, that doesn't matter. Was the car blue or green? Like we have someone who's there like us. So the cab example illustrates two types of base rates. Statistical base rates are facts about a population to which a case belongs, but they are not related to the individual case. Causal. Right, that's what I was thinking. But you need to factor that in with the other probability as well. Like the probability of, hi Mahmood, welcome. You need to factor in, how was your day? Sorry. You need to factor in the probability of, the Venn diagram. all the cabs in the city, there are a lot more of this cab than there are of this cab, and we didn't really factor that in as much because we had the witness statement, but we should have factored it in more. Anywho, so there are statistical base rates and causal base rates. Oh yeah, Eid. No, I get it. I am really not a math person, but I think that's interesting to learn how people think. I well, I think it's that's why I feel like this book isn't really like an actionable book. Like it's not like I'm gonna go around and be like, oh, I mean, in some cases, yes. We're reading Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. It's a pretty hefty book. I'm on page 168 right now. I mean, I read to chapter 19, so actually I'm on page 203, but we are on page 168 right now. Talking about statistical and causal base rates. So causal base rates change your view of how the individual case came to be. The two types of base rates are treated very differently. Not really big on math, not gonna lie. I know. I'm picking it back up. I want to finish it. Like, I started it last year. I think I ended it around Tom W., which is where I picked up today. I ended it at Tom W., started at Linda, and then I had to go back to Tom W. because he made way more sense. And Linda was, like, based off of Tom W., and I was like, who is happening? Where is this? Anyway. Yeah, so I've been chipping away at it. Actually chipped away at it a lot today. Yeah. Math is something. Really something. Oh, actually, there's this new movie out that you would like. It talks about math a lot. Thankfully, there wasn't that much math that we needed to do, but they did the math in the movie. It was really cool. Hail Mary just came out with Ryan Gosling. I just saw it on Saturday. It's so good. So cute. So cute. So cute. Anyway, okay. So, statistical base rates are generally underweighed and sometimes neglected altogether, as we did initially with the cabs. We literally did that. When specific information about the case at hand is available. Causal base rates are treated as information about the individual case and are easily combined with other case-specific information. Exactly. Like, why would I listen to this random fact if I have something that's relevant to this specific case? Like, why are you even telling me this? But it is relevant. Even though we dismiss it, it's actually relevant and it will help us make a more accurate decision. Okay. He goes on to say, so he's been saying representativeness thus far, but then he's like, stereotypes, he gives his case for saying stereotypes. He's saying it in like a, what is it called? Scientific way, I guess. But he says, stereotyping is a bad word in our culture, but in my usage, it is neutral. We hold memories of a representation of one or more normal members of each of these categories. When the categories are social, these representations are called stereotypes. He recognizes hostile stereotyping can have dreadful consequences, but the psychological facts cannot be avoided. Stereotypes, both correct and false, are how we think of categories, social categories at least. Okay. And then he goes on to say, neglecting valid stereotypes inevitably results in suboptimal judgments. Ugh. I'm getting tongue-tied. Okay, and I had to like face this like head on. Okay, personal side story. I worked at this art gallery. And we get this call. And it was clearly from an Indian person. And I'm fighting my own stereotypes already because they're calling about a bank account. And I was like, I don't know about this bank account. So I asked the boss. This is a small gallery. Like, there are maybe 4 people who work here. Anyway, the boss is like there every day. I asked the boss, I'm like, do you have a bank account with this person? They're calling, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure, like, how to handle this. And she's like, yeah, I do actually. And so she goes and checks her bank account, and there is a fraud alert. And they're calling about a fraud alert. And so the questions that they're asking me, I'm like, I don't know the answer, but like, you should. And I was trying so hard not to stereotype. Apparently, they were the fraud. They were the fraud. And I was like, you know what? I feel like I learned a lesson here today. I feel like I learned a lesson here today. Maybe just hang up. Maybe next time just hang up. Because then, oh my god, I didn't get, actually, I should have gotten in more trouble, I feel like. I felt so bad. I was like, oh shoot. Because then the bank called and they were like, dude, like, you fell for the scam. You fell for the gosh darn scam. Oops, so daisy. Okay. And they say resistance to stereotyping is a laudable moral position, but the simplistic idea that the resistance is costless is wrong. I had to look up laudable also, so I'm just going to tell you guys what it says. Laudable is, if I can read my handwriting, deserving of praise even if not always successful. I think that about sums it up. I was like, oh, geez. Okay, he also mentions this psychologist. Every time he mentions a name of an author or psychologist, I always underline it. Psychologist Ikez Ikek. Okay, so I'm realizing like I did not practice saying some of these things out loud. I'm just gonna show you guys actually. Agezen. I don't know. In the box. ICEKAJZEN. Pronounce it how you want. You guys, anybody's guess here. Anywho, I have to blow my nose really bad. I'll be right back. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, dude. Are you kidding me? Hello? Oh my gosh, is this working? Okay, cool. It just unplugged. Maybe not the best design. Anyway, I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry if you guys heard that. It was not cute at all. Anywho. Okay. So System 1 can deal with stories in which the elements are causally linked but is weak in statistical reasoning. So that's why you typically assume, like you close the gaps for a story and you're like, oh, that makes sense. That's what we did with basically every scenario we've had today. You close the gaps. Okay, well, the witness was there. Okay, well, Linda is a feminist, and more likely that than a bank teller, even if she is a bank teller somehow. And with Tom W. being a computer scientist rather than a humanitarian. So you fill in the gaps and you think, well, this 1, 2, 3, duh. Not gonna fool me, even though you're fooling yourself. Can psychology be taught? Sorry. I really should get that water. I'll get it after this chapter. My bookmark just flew out. I wrote down songs that I want to do in karaoke that I heard today at the winery. I'm Still Standing, I'm Yours, Benny and the Jets, and Bubbly. Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Steve. I will be. The thing is, my water is not up here. I'm just gonna. Yep. You're right. You're right. I'm just gonna do it. I'll be back again. Alas. Alrighty. I've secured a glass of water. Delicious. Do you guys prefer water cold or room temperature? I used to swear up and down room temperature was better, and now, like, this is how I drink my water. So, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway. NTU. Yeah, I like a splash or so. I don't know. I used to be a hardcore, like, room temperature water person. I don't know. I could see that. Yeah, 'cause sometimes I still want a room temperature water, but like rarely. Also, I think I've like ice has grown on me since I started using like a water bottle. Like I used like a reusable water bottle. When I That's a good one. Must be a joke. Must be a joke. What are you saying right now? What? Huh? The flavor of water. Hmm. I'm so perplexed right now. you okay? Like, are you okay? Okay. 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 Okay, Hades. You're recognized. I see you. Steve, I don't know what is happening. I'm so confused. I have so many questions. Like how? Oh, wow. Water is life. Like, you're not a Hydro Homie? My water bottle literally says Hydro Homies on it. It actually says Hydro Homie for life. Spelled with a 4 instead of FOR. Uh-huh. You know what I say? Actually, I never say this, but I'm gonna say it today. Live and let live. But we will be talking about that every time. I feel like you can be convinced. It's pretty gosh darn good. It's actually delicious. You just haven't found the right one. There's so many out there. There's no way that you like just don't like it at all. Any of them. Have you tried like spring water? I'm sorry, and this is so odd. I consume water, I guess. What kind of statement is that? What? Okay. So we are reading. Can psychology be taught? Um, Basically he said it's a waste of time. Oh yeah. People will not draw from base rate information and inference that conflicts with their other beliefs. However, he goes on to say later, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, okay, cool. Sure. Okay, Steve. I, I, I have no words. I don't think we're just gonna have to agree to disagree. People will not draw from base rate information and inference that conflicts with other beliefs. It also supports the uncomfortable conclusion that teaching psychology is mostly a waste of time. I, to an extent, agree. I feel like people need to be, yeah, totally. Yep. I think people need to be ready to hear things before they can actually like chew them. Like, I don't think it's a waste of time. I think people want to have to want to learn, or they won't. It's like when you try to tell someone, hey, this will improve your life. And if you take these 3 steps, like every day, you will be amazing. Or if you study for this test, you're going to ace it. Like, okay, but if they don't want to study, then they're not going to study. Or if they want to cram the night before, they're going to, unless they came to you asking, they're not going to absorb it. And even if people ask sometimes, I've realized, even if people ask me, like, because I find myself pretty open to learning. Hi, 4Box, welcome. How was your day? So when people do give me unsolicited advice or information, I'm kind of like, oh, interesting. And I'll take it at face value. May not commit it to memory, may not like change my whole life around it, but I will give it some credence considering the source. Psychology is something that is very difficult to. Oh, sorry, that sucks. Um, maybe some Tylenol? I don't know. Um, okay, social psychologist Richard Nisbet and his student Eugene Borgida at the University of Michigan told students about the renowned helping experiment. Okay, and I feel like we've all heard a version of this helping experiment. Many people hear a cry for help, nobody calls the police. Many people hear fire, nobody calls the fire department because you feel like somebody else will call them. And they teach you this as a teacher. They teach you this in first aid. They're like, do not just say somebody call the police. Say you right there, call the police. And that will make someone be like, oh, me, okay, sure, because like everyone has their phone. But like if you do not assign it to someone, it's not going to get done, which is kind of sad. But it is what it is. And I mean, once you know it, you kind of like are more capable of navigating that kind of situation. But they had a situation where you have a mic booth and there was a plant or like a subject planted and an actor planted. Yeah, Steve, so should you. So should you. That's actually great advice. Water is so good for everyone. Ha ha ha. I'm a big advocate of water. I think everyone should drink it in copious amounts every day. At least 8 cups. Or more. I say that tentatively. Too much water can be not good for you, actually. Anywho, changing one's mind about human nature is hard work, and changing one's mind for the worse about oneself is even harder. Of course, that makes sense. Oh, Steve. Do you need a headache? Do you need to wait for the headache to drink water, though? I'm still reading that. I mean, I consume water, I guess. Like, I can never. Anyway. Okay, so this is where I was saying it's almost impossible to change one's mind for the worse about oneself. Obviously, everyone wants to think of himself as the as being the one to call for help or call the police if someone shouts help. But like, are you really going to? I remember, not to brag, not to brag, but I remember one time I was in my dorm at school in DC, and they and I heard someone in the hall yell for help. And I opened my door, like looking down the hallway, like, what the heck is happening? But nobody else had opened their door. Not only had no one else opened their door, but the person who had yelled help also closed their door again. So I was just like, I guess nothing's wrong. Like, is this a prank? Mine just a college, so it's like, that's not that unlikely. We not that far after had to evacuate the building because there was a fire. And I feel like partially like you could have used the fire alarm. Like we all know those exist. But at the same time, like it's that relevance and recall. Like when you have a fire, do you think, "Oh my gosh, I should pull a fire alarm?" Like you would think that you should or you would, but do you? How many times have you been in a situation where you started a fire in a public space? You don't know. You never know until you're in the shoes. I mean, we there weren't any deaths, I don't think. But just to say, you never know. You never know. Okay. So, in that example, they tell the people that okay, The base rate was 15 people out, or 15 people were in, heard the call for help. Somebody said I'm having a seizure. I didn't smell smoke though. Yeah, they closed the door back, and I guess there was a good seal. I don't know. But I literally looked down the hall and I was like, what's wrong? And then just went back to what I was doing. And then it was the fire alarm went off. I was like, oh, that'll do it. That'll do it. That'll do it. That'll do it. Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's what happened, basically. And I feel, I mean, you have to adjust your inference of human psychology and action. Because yes, people would think, oh my gosh, someone should help them. But people don't think, oh, I should help them. Like 4 out of 15 people, which honestly is not that bad. But it would be great if it was 15 out of 15 people that were like, hey, I need to immediately go and see what's going on with this person. Like somebody just said, I'm having a seizure, I'm gonna die. And you're sitting in the booth like, well, other people heard it. What? Oh my god. Oh my god. I would feel so like bad afterwards if I found out that they had passed away. Like, well, dang. But okay, how they explain it is that you feel a little. Okay, now let's go in order. Okay, they wrote this book in order for a reason. So, the tasks the students were assigned. Oh, okay, so this is how they gave it to the students initially. They gave them a video of some people, two videos of two participants in the experiment, and said, do you think that they got out, like helped, or do you think that they didn't help? And what I thought, they didn't mention this in the actual book, but I feel like also when you learn something about people, and I learned this actually from Grey's Anatomy, when you learn more about someone, especially rapid fire, like in a 2-minute video, you build a kind of kinship with them. Like you feel like you humanize them, basically. Even though they didn't talk about it, I feel like that had a factor to do. I feel like that was a factor in this experiment, or the assessment of the experiment, because the students saw these two. Oh, thank you for the sub, Steve. Oh my gosh, welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. We don't do this kind of content every day though. We do it on Sundays. Monday or Tuesdays. Tuesdays are mostly painting, and then Thursdays are wine days. And I'll be having some of this, but that'll be for another day. Anyway, so just letting you know the schedule. However, the idea that you see the video of a person and you build that kind of like kinship with them, and then oh, cute. Okay, I'll read the goal. Fascination with water is not weird at all. It's actually like so human, and so just like every living thing loves water, and water even loves itself. Like literally, like, do you know how like if you fill a cup with water, it'll build a little like bubble instead of pouring over the edge, because it's just like it's so connected to itself. It's just like, hold me, and it's like, yeah, I got you. Like, what? Anyway, water is so cool. What? Anyway. And it's like a universal solve. Anyway, whatever. So that's what I was saying. Okay. The students had to ask themselves, did this person that I just built a kinship with let someone die? And obviously, I feel like anyone would say no. Like, I'm honestly a little surprised that they didn't mention this. But, like, you get to know someone a little bit. Like, you're not going to think, oh, yeah, they'll let someone die. Even if you do think that, you're not going to say that. like, Like, you're gonna think the best of them. Like, and I honestly truly believe that like people at their core initially, like upon meeting someone, and maybe this is naive, but like you're not gonna have bad intentions. Okay, maybe some people sometimes. But in general, like why would someone think that someone would not help someone else? Like I don't think he would. And that's more on the students than it is on the actual scenario. But they did hear the results afterwards. With hearing the results of 4 out of 15 people actually helping, they did not change their mind at all. Their predictions about the two individuals were indistinguishable. Their predictions about the two individuals were indistinguishable from the predictions made by students who had not been exposed to the statistics of the results. Because, well, welcome, Boba. And I don't think that's the way it goes. Hi, Shimpa. Welcome, guys. We're talking about Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. And we're talking about, like, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. How are you? It's usually innocent until proven guilty. Yeah. That's how I've heard it. I don't know where you got that, but you think the best of people until like then it's like even when you hear the statistics afterwards, you're still like, oh wow, that's so weird, but not these two people I just met. Couldn't be them, even though it could be them, and it actually was them. It actually was them, but whatever. They knew the base rate in the group from which the individuals had been drawn, but they remained convinced that the people they saw in the video had been quick to help the stricken stranger. The implications of this study are disheartening. They did not listen to Shimpa. How are you? Also, and Boba, welcome. How are you guys? How was your day? What? So they were upset because they tried to teach them that, or disillusion them. Oh gosh. Shimpa, do you realize your life is just like just peaches and cream, huh? Must be nice. Anyway, actually I had a great day as well. I spent most of my day at a winery reading this book, so I have nothing to complain about, actually. Yeah. There can be multiple ways of having a great life. Criminal Minds? I actually love that show. But I had to stop watching it because it was getting like really dark. And I like have been trying to watch what I watch. I usually will say like watch what I eat. Watch what you eat. You know the saying. And I feel like that talks about media too. That talks about media, and I've been trying to curate my media intake more recently. I mean, here and there, yes, but I don't want to keep up with something so dark. um, Actually, I heard some of the actors left the show because it was so dark, and they were like, "Yeah, my whole life is like, I'm just thinking about all the worst things that could happen." I'm like, yeah. Oh, interesting. I never noticed that. Interesting. Does that? Oh gosh, I'm gonna be over analyzing every show I watch now, looking for that. Do people? Hmm. Interesting. I feel like even in like theater shows, they talk over each other. Anyway, yeah, great show. Watched it for many years as a kid. Maybe not even the best time to watch it, but oh well. You know what it's like. You know what it is. Who Oopsie daisy. And you. Um, so they learned nothing after hearing the results that, oh my gosh, a lot of people did not save this person. Yeah, that would bother me. Like, I'm gonna be definitely overanalyzing all my shows. I really hope it doesn't happen because there are some shows I really like. Abbott Elementary, love, so cute and realistic. I'm an elementary teacher for those who don't know, so I'm just like I eat it up. A little realism, a little sprinkle of realism in fiction makes it more believable. Alas. Okay. They found similar findings where mild social pressure caused people to accept much more painful electric shocks than most of us and them would have expected. Next to that statement, I just wrote, what the heck? Because, what? What are you talking about? How did we go from theoreticals to people experiencing electrical shocks? Wow. I don't know how they just slipped that in there. No further explanation. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you guys. So, yeah. In other news, students quietly exempt themselves and their friends and acquaintances, and I added even strangers apparently, from the conclusions of experiments that surprised them. They showed the two videos and okay, they tried another approach where they showed the two videos and then simply told the students that the two individuals they had just seen had not helped the stranger. Then asked them to guess the global results. Where, okay, after telling them, yeah, these two people that you just like built a kinship with that you like so much, they both let him die. And they were like, oh. Well, I guess it's not that likely for people to say anything then. And that, like, reverse engineering it, talking about the individual and then the results was much more easily absorbed, I guess. No, much more effective in teaching them. I have to blow my nose again. I'll be right back. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And we're back. I don't know why I always get sniffly on stream. I don't know. I would love to find out though. I would love to know. Oh, it's getting dark out. Alrighty. Okay, surprise with individuals rather than data helped them like realize that the data was reading normal people rather than like, oh no. Every time. Sometimes if maybe I'm talking too much. I don't know. Anyway, let us proceed. Okay, we have two more chapters. We have two more chapters. We don't have to read both right now. Oh, is there a lag? Let me check on that. Oh, actually, looks like it's fine from my end, but I don't know. I'm not sure. Oh no, there's lag. I see it. I see it. Sorry about that. Oh. Okay. Well, let's just continue then while I have you. Chapter 17, Regression to the Mean. Oh, wait, no, let's finish chapter 16. There is a deep gap between our thinking about statistics and our thinking about individual cases. Statistical results with a causal interpretation have a stronger effect on our thinking than non-causal information. If you tell people, yeah, 4 people called the police, 4 people called an ambulance, and you're like, okay, well, what about the people that didn't? Which they later cite as part of the reason that it didn't stick as early, because you're like, okay, well, I mean, it's natural to think somebody is gonna call, but they don't think they're gonna be that person, and they don't think they're gonna know that person. And it's interesting because, like, if you are that person or you do end up knowing that person, it's hard to, like, unsee that, because you wouldn't think that that would be them or that would be you. So it's an interesting whole dynamic going on there. You're more likely to learn something by finding surprises in your own behavior than by hearing surprising facts about people in general. Chapter 17, Regression to the Mean. I was telling him about an important while teaching flight instructors in the Israeli Air Force about the psychology of effective training, I was telling them about an important principle of skill training. Rewards for improved performance work better than punishment of mistakes. Somebody was like, you don't know what you're talking about. Please don't tell us that rewards work and punishment does not, because the opposite is the case. He says, this was a joyous moment of insight when I saw in a new light a principle of statistics that I had been teaching for years. The instructor was right, but he was also wrong. That is because it is regression to the mean. If someone is experiencing a high and they are doing amazing, that is probably not their average. If someone messes up and is doing a bad job, that is probably not their average. Next time that person does it, they will be much improved. And next time the high flyer or whatever, the really good person does it, they'll obviously not be as lucky. That's just, it's unlikely at least. So, I said averages look different in contrast to extremes. So if you have a bad day, and they also give this equation, success equals talent plus luck. So if you are looking at success and you see someone with low talent and low luck, don't judge them off of that first game, off of that first roll, off of the first whatever it is that they're doing. Well, maybe a little bit, but realize that they have an average and that might not be depicted in what you've seen already. So they gave the example of also they said, oh my gosh. Oh, thank you, Salem Rue. Welcome. Thank you for the raid. Hi. Hello. It's me. I'm Alta. Just reading, Thinking Fast and Slow, Daniel Kahneman. Okay, so they said something that I thought was interesting because I feel like it's kind of relevant. Okay. I feel like it's kind of relevant with teaching, but because they said that we tend to be nice to other people when they please us and nasty when they do not. We are statistically punished for being nice and rewarded for being nasty. And I thought this was interesting because I've been teaching this is my second year teaching. And though I love it so much, I am too nice to the kids, definitely. I'm too nice. And there's like a saying I've seen that's, you can gentle parent gentle kids, but you cannot gentle parent kids that are not gentle. And as like a teacher, you're getting a whole slew of kids, all different kinds of backgrounds, all different kinds of personalities, all different kinds of needs, all different kinds of languages, all different kinds of barriers, all different kinds of talents, and like you have to juggle that. Um, and in the immortal words of Into the Woods, nice is different than good. You can be a good teacher without being a nice teacher. You can be a good teacher who's also a nice teacher, which I would like to fancy myself, but I can't be, I can't always be good and nice with every class. Sometimes I have to be good and mean. And it's so funny because the even the like gentle kids will sometimes appreciate that because they know that their class is harder than other classes. And I on some level I feel bad for them because I'm like, no, you have to be strict is a better word. I am not a bully by any means. And I think that the kids feel very safe with me to tell me if they do have a bully, which I like. And I feel like that is a balance. That's a balance between being strict and good. Like they know they can trust me with it and then I'm going to do something about it. Because I've also had situations where, right? Like, and I would like to, and I typically do. Like, will, I will let the kids take on their creativity wherever it wants to go, for the most part, as long as they hit all the guidelines in the curriculum. But what works for one student may not work for another student. And what those students see from each other, they may not think is fair, even though they don't know everything I know about all the students. If that makes sense. And also, that's really cool that you're writing a novel. Are you like a professional writer? Wow. Wow! Wowee! I'm just a novice. That's cool, 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 that's cool. I really hope she drinks water. Water is so good. And it's so cute. And I also just feel like the kids really, like, they always surprise me with how, like, the laughing. The kids always surprise me with their appreciation of my teaching, even if I don't, like, explicitly, like, teach them always, if that makes sense. Yeah, literally. I agree. I would agree with that. If it's disrupting the class or harming someone, obviously. Oh my gosh. I had a situation last week. Anyway, it wasn't that bad. Yeah, exactly. Anything, like, literally. Literally. Um, yeah. But sometimes I do think I tolerate too much. And I need to start setting them out. And once, honestly, I think it works for me. Water is really good. Yeah. It's actually so delectable. Anyway, yeah, this is a side thought. Just some subliminal messaging for you. So, in that equation, talent plus luck equals success. They give the, oh my gosh, really? Teaching runs in my family too. Not that it runs in a family, I guess. But yeah, like my aunts, grandparents were like all teachers. Or worked in schools. Education is a good field, and you can feel proud of it. Okay, I don't know that much about golf, but they gave a golf example. I had to do some looking up, so let me give you like the rundown of how to play a golf game. So, um, they said, correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody knows, but they said assume. Okay, we're applying the idea that luck often contributes to success in the first 2 days of a high-level golf tournament. we're going to assume that both days the average score of the competitors was at par 72. Par 72 is the typical, oh, yeah. If the UK is known for something, it's the rain. Yeah. And the food, I feel like. The bangers and mash and all that good stuff. Anyway, so par 72 is how many, okay, so in a typical 18-hole game, you're expected, a professional is expected to be able to complete the game in 72 strokes. Less than that is good, more than that is bad, basically. Yeah? That was my understanding. But this is also like a glass of wine in, so I don't know. Anywho, so they're looking at it and they say, okay, if somebody on the first day of closing ends with a, I haven't tried it. That's like the only like British dish I know. I'm just spitballing. Fish and chips. That's another one. I'm not really, I don't know. Oh, and the accents. The rain, the accents, and the food. I guess probably everywhere is known for those things. No, US is known for guns too, for sure. Gotta love it here. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Oh my god. Also, actually, when I was at the winery earlier, they had Thank you. It's really something. But the winery had like walls of rifles. I was like, what is happening here? What is this, a range? Like, why are these here? I really didn't get it. There didn't seem to be any context for it either. It's just like, oh yeah, you're coming to the winery, and then like, oh yeah, like look at our case of rifles. It's like, okay, thank you. It is very much so a work in progress, but I appreciate that. I need to get some more details in here and there, but I also think I want to leave some of the wash there. Okay, but I do need to get rid of this blue line. Everything's gonna have to be opaque on the like 3/4 marks. It is what it is. I didn't think that through very well. So there's that. Yeah, have a good day, of course. I am having an awesome day, and I think it's just gonna be awesomer. Thank you, Mahmood. Are you headed home or headed to sleep? Oh, gosh. Oh, you know what I just realized? I mean, this doesn't explain why I'm stuffy every single time, but bye, Mahmood. But I was sick as a dog last week. 5 VIPs. I don't think it's as important to anyone. I don't know. You were asking for it severely and I caved. But it's chill. They know who they are. Okay. So, if a player closes the first day with a 66, and another player closes with a 77, that doesn't necessarily mean that Steve has a good point. Mahmood, how did you get like this? What are you talking about? Oh my gosh. Are you intentionally going around hurting people? I feel like you're not. Welcome, Control Alt. And reading is great. I love reading, actually. It's like so fun, and you learn things, and then you just like sit around and like you turn the pages and the book smells so good, and they just have like a nice feel, and they have a rectangular shape, and you can learn so much from these gosh darn things. It's crazy. Like someone's life work is in this book. Like that's crazy. Like they're just like, yeah, like when I first started researching this in 1990, in 1970, in 1900, and I'm just like, what the freaking heck? Kindle? I don't have a Kindle. I have a library. I'm a traditional book reader. Actually, I've been opening it up to audiobooks as well. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Oh, Steve. How? What? What a character. What a character. I mean, this is undeniably, this is learning. Like, this is, well, I think psychology is really interesting. So I would pick up a book like this and read it. I think you already know. Wow, gosh. I think you already know. I'm just going to say it anyway. The book is always better. Math? Yuck. Disgusting. This is math. This is the mathiest book I will read. I'll read like math relating to other things. LOL. Oh my gosh. The book is always better than the movie. Yeah. Math? Yuck. Math is like. What book are you thinking? Do you have a suggestion, Mahmood? I feel like it's gonna be like a textbook. Like, the last math class I took, I do have to say, was pretty interesting. It was math. What was it? Like, um, something about infinity, and I thought that was so. Actually, it was a writing class. Um, it was like effects of infinity or something. I don't know, but that was like really interesting math. We learned about like all different kinds of infinities. Like there's obviously like regular infinity, number infinity, um, some kind of hotel infinity thing. Oh gosh, I wish I remembered it better. um, um, I always hear that stats are not that interesting. I guess this is kind of a stats book, but it's more stats. I don't mind statistics in support of a psychological thing or in support of something that I'm actually interested in. But like on its own, like I don't it's hard for me to care about that. Psychology is really freaking cool. Psychology, science, I would have been a scientist if I didn't become an artist. Actually, I guess I kind of like am still studying science. I wouldn't say I'm a scientist though. Um, this can also help you predict the future and manipulate it. So psychology is like top tier, top tier, top tier, and it can help you like control your mind. Can help you control your mind. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I really like psychology. I feel like uh, I feel like there's some more books I need to get to. I had a list somewhere. I think Cozy gave me some good recommendations. But anyway, paint by Kim. Wait. Oh, I know an artist that does just that. Actually, she's in the UK now. She went to school with me, but I don't think she lives here anymore. All of her shows have been in London. Um, Amy. What was her last name? I just came across her Instagram. I'm sure she wouldn't mind sharing. Amy P. And she got like a double major in I do think chemistry is pretty cool, but I mean it's like a molecular earth science, I guess. But I really, really love like rocks and like um rocks I think rocks are cool and like different kind of structures and things like that that occur on the earth, volcanoes and um trees and things like that. I think that's so freaking cool. Uh, like when you go on a hike and you find something cool and you like look it up what it is and then you like learn all about it. And like my plant babies. Anywho, yeah. Physics is pretty interesting. Physics is pretty interesting. There was this pendulum video I saw on Reddit earlier. Do I study quantum physics? I do not. I do not. I think I got a book on it, but I haven't started it. Let me see if I have it. Okay, I don't even know if actually these are about quantum physics, but I have a Stephen Hawking book, The Universe in a Nutshell, and Charles Darwin, The Descent of Man. But don't try it. I might. I just haven't yet. Okay, let's do one book at a time. Wow, I thought we would be oh, that's what I was looking for. Amy Pol Oh gosh. Amy Poliero. She was an artist that I went to school with who does shows in the UK now. And all of her stuff, okay, she got I think it was, her double major was in some kind of science and then art. And I was like, that's so freaking cool. I should have done that. But I also did not want to do that at all. Theoretical physics. Oh, interesting. Oh, okay. Blank? Someone called blank? I don't understand. In quantum physics? Is that a book recommendation? What? I need more context. Oh my gosh. We're still talking. We're talking about the golf situation. Okay, so someone starts with a 66 and then someone else starts. Oh, yeah. Poliero. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Yeah. But basically she does that where she mixes like science and art. And I was so enamored with her work like seeing her in school. Bye, Mahmood. Have a good day, night. I forget what time it is there. Anyway, enjoy. Have a good week. Have a good rest of the month. Oh my god, the month almost is over actually. This month kind of flew by and also kind of took forever. Anywho, so if somebody does their golf game, somebody closes with a 66, somebody closes with have a good day. If we're gonna get technical, which I do. I thought Eid was last week. I had off Friday because of Eid. I don't know. Right? Right? Oh my gosh, I'm glad you like it. Okay, so they're saying that 66 is probably extra good luck. Oh yeah, that's what I thought. 66 is extra good luck, and that should not be expected for the rest of the game or for every day. 77 is kind of bad luck, they were saying. I don't know what's average, but I guess 72 is average. But that should not be expected for the rest of the day. People tend to forget about that luck in the equation of success when they can attribute it to talent. So, oh, the last day is today. Wait. Oh, what? Oh, I guess your Friday starts after my Friday. Yeah, we're talking like, I know. I was like, 77 doesn't seem that far off from 72. Like you missed like 3 or 4. Like what the heck? I guess they're pretty cutthroat in the golfing world. We can't all be Tiger. Okay. Then they go on to talk about other things. Okay, I'm kind of getting. We're just gonna finish up chapter 17 and we'll start 18 next time because I don't feel like talking about this that much more. I feel like we're getting onto other topics, and I would like to paint. Wow, it's already 8. Okay. Norway had a great first jump. Okay, so they talk about how you can reduce reverting to the mean to be a causal issue. Somebody says in a sportscaster says at an event, Norway had a great first jump. He'll be tense, hoping to protect his lead and will probably do worse. Or they might say, Sweden had a bad first jump and now he knows he has nothing to lose and will be relaxed, which should help him do better. Though the end result is correct, the regression to mean is correct, the causal story is invented and irrelevant. Which I thought was interesting. Regression to the mean was discovered and named late in the 19th century by Sir Francis Galton, a half-cousin of Charles Darwin. Wow, what a coincidence, we just talked about him. Par is average. Oh, okay. Yeah, so, how, that's not average at all. And I feel like that's, I can see how it can get really competitive then. I feel like I've met so many people recently who are like really into golf. And they're like, I want to own a golf course. Like, I would be the best golfer. I'm like, dude, like, oh my gosh. I feel like 3 people, like, in the last week or so, like, last 2 weeks, it's like, is golf having it? I mean, I don't know. I just really don't follow sports enough to know if it's, like, having a comeback or if it's always been this popular. Maybe just, like, getting older, like, people just play golf more? I don't know. Because I know, like, at school, nobody was playing golf. Well, actually, I did go play golf. But, like, for fun, like, for a party, like, something to do with my girlfriends. Not, like, seriously. Like, we did not take it seriously. Like, we were just having fun. Anyway. Okay, so Sir Francis Galton, a half-cousin of Charles Darwin, and a renowned polymath. I did not know what a polymath was. Let me tell you all about it. It's an individual with deep, masterful knowledge across multiple, often unrelated fields, like science, art, and engineering. Derived from the Greek word meaning many learning. Oh, interesting. Oh, that's true. That actually makes sense. Because I was like, maybe it's like as I'm getting older, like I like golf is like a older game. I don't know. But that makes sense. That it kind of is. That works out. Um it took Francis Galton. Oh, and then they talk about how to measure correlation and if it is efficient or useless. They said, okay, well, let's take 100 children in elementary school and see how well they play piano and their weight. Obviously, this doesn't really matter that much. It matters how long they've been practicing and how frequently they practice to tell how good they are at piano. But you can draw that conclusion. Maybe the ones who weigh more are older and have had more practice, whereas the same or like the opposite is true, vice versa. Anyway, that was just a little side thing, so we're not skipping anything. It took Francis Galton several years to figure out that the correlation and regression are not two concepts, they're different perspectives on the same concept. The general rule is straightforward but has surprising consequences. Whenever the correlation between the two scores is imperfect, there will be no regression to the mean. Okay, so this is what they're getting at. If you measure piano playing and weight, there will be no mean regression. If you measure piano playing and time spent practicing, there will be a mean regression. Like, sometimes things are just irrelevant, and it's like, just let it be. Just let it be. Ooh. However, regression is very difficult to explain, especially to, yes, it is very statistical. This whole, I said that. This book talks about statistics in support of psychology and thinking. They say the statistician David Friedman used to say that if the topic of regression comes up in a criminal or civil trial, the side that must explain regression to the jury will lose the case, because it's so difficult to explain and to understand. Our mind is strongly biased toward causal explanations and does not deal well with mere statistics. Just like we saw with the difference between having an individual see their video and then say, okay, well, they didn't help the person in the booth, versus seeing the individual and then, oh, well, what do you think? Like, you already kind of know them and you think, well, they wouldn't let that person just die. So even though they might. But when you are given the information, oh my gosh. There's no cause for you to put together. There's just the information and the facts. It's just the facts and the facts. The truth is that regression to the mean has an explanation, but does not have a cause. The event that attracts our attention in the golfing tournament is the frequent deterioration of the performance of the golfers who were successful on day one. The best explanation is that they were unlucky, but it doesn't have any cause. So it's like, how do you predict? The regression to the mean is how you predict, silly. Extreme groups regress to the mean over time. They give the example that if you take a group of depressed children and treat them with an energy drink a day, they would show significant improvement in 3 months. But if you treat them with cat hugging every day, you will see significant improvement in 3 months. If you do not treat them, you will see improvement in 3 months. Why is that? Because any extreme regresses to the mean. Like some things, or actually they said, you must compare a group of patients who receive this treatment to a control group that receives no treatment, or better, receives a placebo. I thought it was interesting that they said it was better to receive a placebo. Because if a group doesn't receive anything, they're obviously the control group, and they aren't going to have any noticeable, I guess maybe they will have the noticeable things, but they won't have the thinking behind it. Whereas with the placebo, you will have the thinking of, I'm getting better. Whether you are having the treatment or not. Actually, I'm not a question mark here. I don't know. What do you guys think? If you're trying to judge a large group regressing to the mean over time, would you rather compare them to a group that is not having the treatment, or a group that's having a placebo treatment? Exactly. I feel like the placebo would skew the results, because then that control group is still participating more actively mentally than they would be without a placebo. I don't know. I feel like if you're proving a point, you would want to just do it. If you're proving that the treatment doesn't matter, I guess that's the point of a placebo, but at the same time, that's true. Oh, that's true. That's true, Steve. Oh, I didn't think of that. You're smarty, huh? They are also receiving the placebo in addition to the treatment. And their treatment in this case, is completely placebo as well. Interesting. Interesting. So, really, everyone is receiving a placebo. That is such an interesting concept because that also means like even regular day-to-day medications have a bit of placebo in them, even if they are meant to treat, Never thought about that. You expect it to do something, so it does it. Huh. One of my favorite examples of the errors of intuitive prediction is adapted from Max Bazerman's excellent text, Judgment and Managerial Decision Making. You are the sales forecaster for a department store chain. All stores are similar in size and merchandise selection, but their sales differ because of location, competition, and random factors. Love that. Random factors. Interesting. I feel like also placebo is like when you think of a placebo, you think of a tablet. Maybe that's why it's less effective. But you don't think of like an injection as much. Though I would rather take a placebo tablet than take a placebo injection. Like, dude, do we have to do that? Do you have to do that? Really? But that's also just because my veins are thin. And I have what's called diving veins. Oh my gosh, so annoying. Every time I've gone to the doctor to draw blood, they're like, poke, poke. Oh, I can't find it. Oh, let's try again. Ha ha ha. I feel like a pin cushion. So annoying. And they're like, let's try the other arm. Let's try the other arm again. It's horrible. Anyway. Just a little sidebar there. Yep. Okay, so the more severe the interesting. Well, what do you mean severe placebo? I guess like the injection versus the tablet. Wow. That's crazy. It's also so interesting to find out, like, for people that do take placebos, like, when they find out it was a placebo, like, they feel like, oh my gosh, like, what? I can't do it anymore, even though, like, it was them doing it the whole time. It's so interesting. Alas, we're getting to we're rounding out the chapter 17. So, you want to increase sales by 10%. How would you complete the following table? They say, some might say, duh, raise every single one by 10%. However, with regressive median, or whatever it's called, regressing to the mean, you know that the better performing ones are going to do a little bit worse, and the least good ones are going to do a little bit better. And yeah. So that's all for today, folks, about this book. I know, the concept of regression is far from obvious, but it is valid. And then we are going to talk about chapter 18, and however much else I read, next Sunday. It was soon to hand you a tablet and a cup and said take that before. Yeah. Oh, that's true. Because it just feels more realistic and is more invasive. Like, they wouldn't do this if it wasn't a real thing. That's true. I would think that, and I would be upset if they did do that to me. Especially if they knew I had that diving veins problem. I would be like, why would you put me through this for water? Like, oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay, so let's get some painting done. Oh man, we're not gonna have time for plants. I'll have to do the repotting separately then. My veins are perfectly fine, actually. Thank you very much. They just don't like to be poked with needles. I could never do heroin. Is that heroin? It's heroin, right? Heroin's the needle one. Anyway. So, yeah, there's that. Even drawing blood. Drawing blood is so annoying. Like, dude. Anyway. Yeah, my veins are small and they dodge. They're like, oh, you thought. Better luck next time. It's a whole ordeal. Oh my gosh, I'm getting a little queasy thinking about it. Let's go on to something else. Okay, let's do the art. A little art for before we go. I need to blow my nose again. But I'll be right back. Alrighty. And we're back. We're going to be working on Echo. Echo might be a name change. Oh shoot, Duolingo is so mad as always. Like, do you guys do Duolingo? Sometimes, like, if it's the morning, he's so, like, fun and flirty. And then as it gets to the end of the day, he's like, I don't have time to waste. I'm like, oh my gosh. He gets really upset. He's like, I know you see me. I'm your home screen. Like, yeah, you're right. You're right. Alrighty, let's see. Oh my gosh, I think I'm doing a birthday trip. Oh my gosh. Karaoke is so fun. I don't know if you guys do karaoke, but you should. I met these girls, what was that? Like the other day. That live nearby and do karaoke. I was like, that's perfect. That's perfect. And now we're gonna do karaoke together. But they took some pictures of me that while I was doing karaoke, and I was like, wow, so you hate me. LOL. Just kidding. I have to stop saying that. People really don't like it, actually. It's just kidding. Just kidding. Anyway, let's get started with the painting. So this is Echo. She has 2 eyes and a lot of other stuff going on in the background that we are going to bring out today, and also bring out the eyes some more because they are, but at the same time I do want to keep it back in the red, and I want to bring more detail. Let's just go. Let's just see what we can get done today. Can you scoot over, please? Okay. That's better. That's better. I like when the ice gets like this. I don't know if you can tell the difference. Anywho. Oh no. I left the brushes in the turpentine. Or it's not really turpentine, it's more of a turpentine slash oil mix. Ooh, yuck. I should not have done that. Alas, I already did, so it is what it is at this point. And we're gonna just keep going. We're just gonna keep going in and hope for the best. Oops. Okay. So I really want to bring out a couple things. I need some. Actually, let's do the eyes. We'll work on the eyes first. I think the eyes are the windows to the soul, and so does everybody. So let's just bring them out a little bit more, especially since they should be super clear. Then I'm going to do a wash of the red on top so it looks like it's still in the glasses. That'll be pretty cool. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to be painting that long, but see you later. See you later, alligator. See you when I see you. Actually, probably more accurate. What is that flashing? Oh. Where's my remote? I think it's become just more obvious since the sun has set. Can you please respond? Hold on. There we go. Alrighty. So let's do the eyes. In the reference, honestly, there wasn't much detail. So we're gonna add that mostly in here. Actually, maybe I should keep the eyes simple. They're not the main focus, or they shouldn't be. I really want it to just be like the idea of an eye, and then I want it to hold as much weight as the rest of the piece, but not much like more than the rest of the piece. Though it is technically already the focus, that'll be fine. This is gonna take a while because I'm working in washes, but that'll be fine. You know what they say, haste makes waste. Okay. Also, I feel like the washes will be more, will lend itself better to having transparency, obviously. A wash is like a thin layer of paint also, which is why I think that, which is why it'll be so much better for the sunglasses. Are red heart glasses even really sunglasses? I feel like not really. They're kind of just like decoration. But yeah. Okay, did you know that when you're painting an eye, you should not make it purely white? Oh my gosh. I knew that. I think the white I have is, or the color I have for the eye right now is a little too dark though. Let me get the reference up actually. And since I'm working with washes, I do want to make it pretty thin, thick. Pretty slim thick. Oh my gosh. Duo's like last chance, dude. Let's see if I can find it. When I was at the nursery, I was taking pictures of all the plants that I already have so I can better treat them. So it's like I have so many plants that I do not know how to here we go, identify or take care of. So it would be super cool to get some of that information. Actually, okay, I just made a decision. But it doesn't matter right now. I'm gonna make the eyes way darker brown, almost a burgundy. And then I'm gonna do the shadow in blue, and I think that'll be really chef's kiss. Heck yeah, heck yeah. Okay, there's a highlight here. That was not a highlight color, wow. Okay. I also feel like I really did get the eye color, or the white of the eyes, pretty down. It feels like a purple. Let me show you guys the reference. Oh my gosh, the glare. Like, doesn't it? Well, maybe it's not that noticeable through the screens, but the white of the eye does feel like a purple. Ah! Okay, to get a clean line, what I like to do when I tell my students to do is add a little bit of water. I do not just have a clean line, hence the small screen. But we can make it happen like this. And over here. I keep looking at it and thinking this doesn't look right, but it actually does look right. You have to remember that people are not an exact science. Well, actually in some regards we are. However, anatomy, like even symmetry, is a little asymmetrical. How am I gonna show that pink? I'm excited to make the red eyes. I think it'll be more believable, especially when like the red sunglasses. But I also feel like having the purple as the white of the eye does lend itself to the red sunglasses as well. Are these eyes even even? Are they even? Okay, no. This one is smaller. I'm asking you like you guys are looking at this straight on. Like it's just I can't. No, this one is so much smaller. Why? Okay, here it is. Here it is. Oh my gosh. Okay, the karaoke has started without me. Okay. Ooh, that looks good. I cleaned up the shape a lot. Okay, let's make the color for... Oh, remember the permanent rose. Permanent Rose was gifted to me last week, and it's like so timely. I'm gonna use that with little raw sienna, or burnt sienna actually, to make the, oh my gosh, this already still has white on it. Yikes! I'm gonna use that with a little burnt sienna so that I can get, and a little naphtol actually, since I just did that accidentally. Oh wait, we can do this on Tuesday. What time is it? 8:21. Okay, this is not red enough at all. Okay, let's finish the eyes and then we will call it. Oh my gosh, dude. Okay, the red makes the blue look less connected. But the red also makes it look more connected to the glasses and the whole composition. So, I don't know. It's like a little plus, little minus. It's hard to see on the screen. Maybe, what can I do? I don't know. Let's see. I'm gonna call it. I know we've been painting for like 5 seconds, but I don't know. My head is starting to hurt and I'm just not really feeling it. We'll work on it Teaching Tuesday though, for sure. And, and how about we do some of the blog on Tuesday as well? Yeah. Yes. But for today, that is all. Thank you guys for chit-chatting with me about Thinking Fast and Slow. I'm so enamored with the book. I'm looking for ways to use it in life. But it's also just like, don't trust anything. So I don't know how to really, I don't know. It definitely has made me second guess it since starting to read it, but like, or second guess just like judgments I would make and other assumptions, but it hasn't really like changed me, I guess, that much. Like, I would still think the same thing. I'd just be like, maybe not though. Anyway, that's all for today, folks. I will see you next time. Au revoir, arrivederci, adios, ciao, assalamu alaikum. Have a good night, have a good morning, have a good week. I will see you next time, and next time I will see you. But peace. Oh, should we rate someone? Let's see who's on right now. I wonder. Ooh, let's do someone new actually. How about, can we find, what if we do, it's so hard to find trad artists on here, but that's okay. What? They just stopped streaming as I was looking for it. Awesome. Someone's doing a comic. Let's go check them out. I hope they're like PG-ish. They seem to have they're called, actually never mind. Let's not do them. LOL. Let's pick someone maybe a little peachy. This one seems funny. Oh, that would be cool. Whoa. Hmm. I would love to do a trad artist. Oh, we found a drawer. Oh, 18 plus. What the heck? There's a Bob Ross channel on here. Oh, gosh, I feel bad. Do you know Bob Ross doesn't get any of the royalties, him or his family? It's really a scam. Oh, let's do this one. Let's see. Let's just go for. I'm just gonna pick someone random. I can't do it. um, whatever. Mm, what about this? America's Next Top Hand Model. Ooh, chat decides. Let's do this one. Okay, sweet. Okay. Bye, guys. Have a good night.
Who is that? Alta Care? Coer? How do I pronounce that for you? Help me out. Welcome on in. Let me give you Core. Alta Core. See what we got. Another art streamer. Okay. Core. Like Core. Gotcha. Well, thanks so much for the raid. I appreciate that. Let me drop you a follow. How was your stream? What kind of stuff did you get into tonight? What kind of art do you normally have? Tell me a little bit about yourself. If you have any links for any of the stuff that you've got, Instagram, whatever you're working on, please drop it in the chat. I'd love to check it out. Welcome on in, Raiders. Always nice to have new folks in here. My name is Wolfred, and I'm a traditional artist on Twitch. I do viewer requests. Have a wide variety. We're currently working on one of our food fight series, which is a whole running set of drawings that I've done for the channel, where people pit two different drawings or two different foods against one another. It was good. I did some oil painting, but mostly talked about a book I'm reading. Okay, right on. Well, if again, like I said, whatever you have to share, please feel free to drop any and all links. I would love to check it out. Pretty much everything. The majority of stuff I've drawn on the stream is found on this handy little slideshow right now, but these are all like sketchbook drawings that I do. I've been streaming now for a little over 2 years, and it's been this way. Pretty much what you see: pencils, Micron pens, Sharpie markers, Copic markers, comic book art style, predominantly. Your mom goes to college. Oh. Look who came crawling back.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, let's take a look at it. Take a look at this gram.